Hey guys, it's Nuka24 back with another episode of Car Mechanic Simulator. This is episode 3, if I am correct. But let's get going. So last time we left off, we were stuck with this car and they said there's something wrong with the clutch or the gears. And we need to do a test drive, so let's get out to the test track. And if I might sound a little groggy, it might be because of the weather here. It's hot. Let's take a shortcut. Whoa! That was gone. Brake. To the left, to the left. And small test. Foot off the accelerator. Oh, this one is bad. It's just bad. The shifting alone is always bad as well. It just doesn't shift. It overshot a little. I still didn't count as right. Oh well, whatever. But yeah. So we did that. So that's done. So they said it was something with the clutch, so that means the gearbox might have to come out. No, the gearbox is actually fine. But I have to drop it out to check the clutch. So if I want to drop this out, I'll have to remove both the wheels. Which I hate, because I have to pull out. I have to pull off the wheels and I have to put them back again. I hate that. Yeah, so how the gearbox is connected to a front wheel drive car. Mostly if the gearbox is on the engine most of the time, like this one. Sometimes you have a gearbox that is off the engine. So it has a rod, a drive shaft going from the engine to the gearbox and then again to the bottom. Pop it up. The hood closes itself magically. It's magic. Yeah, I have to check it. What the hell? I want to drop the gearbox. Oh, because I forgot to take off the starter. Right. Let's start it. Good. Go into the back. So yeah, if you would see here, it said I had to take off the starter. I forgot. Whoops. So now we should be able to unscrew the gearbox. Or unscrew and bolt. And there you go, there's your clutch. So yeah, the clutch is dead. This clutch is gone. Pressure plate's good. The pressure plate's still good. That's one thing. But this friction plate is gone. And I can't change the flywheel. So how it will work, the flywheel is what spins up. This is what spins, and the friction plate is connected to the... Oops, wrong one. The friction plate is bolted to the flywheel. That's held on by the pressure plate to give it the flywheel some pressure, some counter pressure, and the release bearing is just what makes it spin, what makes it easy for it to spin, because it spins around the bearing. If it did not spin around the bearing, well then it might start scraping and it will wear out a lot quicker. So I have to get a new, what was it? Friction plate? New bearing. So let's see, this friction plate is gone. This bearing is dead. So now we have a new clutch system. So let's see how much get it. Oh, I get 1,000 for 2 parts that don't even cost 1,000. That's what people sometimes do if they go to a mechanic. Some mechanics overprice their jobs. they would ask more than they would ever want for the job. So this might cost, let's say, this job might, with these two parts, IRL, might cost you 500 USDs, never 1,000. If people ask 1,000 for this, it could be because the gearbox has to drop out. Most of the times, if you burn your clutch, it will be way more. This guy hasn't burned his clutch, he just broke his clutch, or his clutch is that far gone that it's just dead. Ooh. Should have said you the button for a while, so that means now restart it. Yeah, I most times forget to install some parts. Yeah, the gearbox back. You only have to install starter. Yeah. And good to go. Okay, let's get the starter back in. And he can drive again. Close the hood. Get going. Another car. Done. Right, next car. Car battery, check the alternator. I replaced the battery 4 days ago, but today I was meant to start my car again. Check what's wrong with it, please. Okay, so he says the battery. Oh, that battery is definitely dead. Yep. You're coming out. So now we have to look at the belt system. Okay, so a little about the belt system. There are two belts. You have one belt that's driven by the engine via this idler pulley, which is driven by this big overhead, wheel. That in turn twists this belt, which is kept tensioned by the belt tensioner, logical, which runs through over the water pump in this case. So the water pump is also driven by the engine here, which then turns the crankshaft pulley. Oh no, this is what actually drives it. It's driven by the crankshaft, which in turn is driven by the cylinders inside. This is just the overhead wheel, which keeps it, which keeps the belt on. So this is what turns this belt, which in case is kept on by the belt tensioner, which is in that case turns the water pump. This belt is turns the which turns the alternator. Then there's an idler pulley, which when the car is in idle will take most of the slack from the belts because they're running slow. But this belt's coming out, which normally those belts are not really a problem. If you take off this tensioner, some have a one system belt, some have a V-snare, as it might be called. The V-snare is what actually most of the times controls this. So I'll fix the alternator, fix up the car battery. So a car battery fix that you can do yourself. Really, if you have an old battery, a lead acid maybe, or a battery that's dead, you can use a droplet charger, whatever. You can use a charger for the battery, so you can charge your dead battery. The alternator might have a bad brush, so they use carbon brushes for that. But done. Next one. These are easy orders. If I get a big order which needs a lot to be done on the car and I need some time for that, I will have an extra episode for that. Yeah, this one needs an exhaust repair. So as he said, he might have his muffler shot or damaged. He's just damaged, but yeah, looking at this exhaust, if you see this on an exhaust, just get a screwdriver, start poking at it. If you poke a hole in it, you might want to start changing it. I'm not even scanning it. If you see this kind of rust on an exhaust system, just tear it apart. Don't even bother. If things look this rusty, just, if it's an older car like a 1990 car, you might be able to find rust on it if you buy it, but Otherwise, if you see rust on a good new car, if it's first hand, if it's good new car and it's first hand, just don't even waste money on it. It's not worth it. So the two mufflers were rusted through on this one, so I'll have to buy 2 new mufflers. That's a catalytic converter that converts N2, so nitrous, and that converts nitrous oxides and carbon monoxide in just standard nitrous, standard nitrous, and carbon dioxide. Carbon monoxide, for people who don't know, it's really poisonous. If you inhale only 1%, the chance of you surviving is already slim. Carbon monoxide is deadly. So people who have an old boiler, or people with even CVs, central heating systems, you're screwed if your boiler flame is not good. If the flame is yellow, it might give off really high levels of carbon monoxide, and that's deadly. Okay, so we're done. Next one. So I see that some of these go really quick, but as you see later when we get to the third garage, we also have to do chip tuning. I'll explain that then. But first we have to do this. So a test drive and the steering. So this is a steering rack problem, this car. So that would probably be, if I take a look, that would be these parts, these tie rods. So let's do a test drive. So this will be the last car I'm doing for this episode. So we'll do a quick test drive, we'll fix the steering, and that will be the last episode. So that's a little wonky. Can be better. Can be worse. So yeah. And not optimal. Can be better. Yeah, if you just hear something in the background, that was my little brother. Yes, I do have a brother. He fucks up everything. I know there are people out there that do the same as you. And stop. We're done. Test drive is just the easiest thing ever. Even if you progress up the garage train up the garages, the test drive track will stay the same. But for the driving, we'll have to grab this. Yeah, you can see the sway bar, steering rods are just gone. If you see this is good. This steering rack is just dead. Normally, if your steering rack is gone, don't even bother trying to pull it out yourself. Get a mechanic to do it. Or if you want to fuck up your car, or, well, not fuck up your car, sorry. That's harsh to say. But if you don't want to destroy your car, don't try it. Just don't. Up it onto the ramp. Yeah, but that steering rack's gone. So the steering rack is what turns your car left and right. So if your steering rack's, as this one, rusted through, you might start itching behind your ear and saying, why is this thing steering so wonky? You would say, oh, the steering rack's gone. That's what you would say. Or you wouldn't instantly say the driving rack would be gone, but it is a it has a high chance of being broken. replace it with a completely new one. I have to drop it back and go back to behind the wheels to fix it. And you can try on these cards. You can take them completely apart and try to reassemble them as quick as you can. It's fun. I tried it. I don't know, what, 20 minutes? I pulled off everything and put it back together completely without fixing it. Then it would be a pretty good card. It would be an endless. There is an endless mode to this where you would just have the third garage and you will be endlessly doing cars. But then you would get 2 different cars with the same problem. And we're done. That's it. If I'm correct. Yep. And fixed. And we're done. So that's it. Yeah, I will do this the next time. It's an easy one, but hey. So I'm Nucleus314. This was episode 3 of Car Mechanic Simulator. Hope you had a nice time here, and as always, take it easy.